What up? It's Jay Kuno, my boy Philly Freezer.
You know what? It's your boy Freeway. My raps and my beers the bomb. That's why they love me. And we tuned in to AllHipHop.com early.
What's good? What's good? I go by the name of DJ Thoro, a.k.a. Throzano, Bridge to the Streets. Welcome to another edition of AllHipHop.com. Sitting here with two legends, man. Introduce yourself.
I go by the bearded wonder himself. The bearded legend.
I love it.
The best beard in the business.
Okay.
Philadelphia Freeway.
Philadelphia Freeway.
And I go by the name of Jake One.
Jake One. Why not Jake Two?
You know, I'm very old school. You know, when I needed a rap name, and I was like, "There's KRS-One." There's this. I used to write graffiti and stuff when I was a little kid, and I was a little delinquent. Yeah, I was doing all that.
All right, you're official hip hop in the.
I can't even picture that. You writing graffiti?
Ooh, yeah, I
can't picture you breaking any law.
I mean, killing them beats, so breaking law, you know what I mean? He's killing it. So let's speaking of killing beats, man, let's jump right into this album, the Stimulus Package.
Yeah.
The Stimulus 2 is the
Stimulus Package 2.
Right. All right. So what was the science behind coming together doing the first Stimulus?
First Stimulus, I was working on the Free at Last album, which was his second album on Def Jam, and I just kept sending him beats, and he just kept rapping to him, and then he got off Def Jam and really. His manager at that time, Ryan Press, it was really his idea for us to do an album together. He's like, "Man, you guys need to do this like Gang Starr." And I was like, "Oh, I like that."
Okay.
And shit, we ended up going around the world off of that.
Right. Now, speaking of Gang Starr, do you also DJ?
Yeah, I don't really like DJing at this point. I'm not gonna lie.
That's blasphemy. You gotta get off the.
I'm over it though. He over it though. He definitely do it.
I can scratch. Yeah, I can DJ. Yeah.
All right. You passed it.
I come from that.
You come from that.
Yeah.
All right, dope. So Freeway, man, you're a legend in the game. It goes without saying. You could have had your choice of any producer. Why did you choose to work with Jake?
I mean, we got a great chemistry. Jake is one of them producers. If he send me a folder with 15 beats on them, I'm rapping to all 15.
All 15.
Like I find a pocket of something in each one of them joints, and the outcome be crazy.
Right.
So we got great chemistry.
Now let's talk about, other than yourself, obviously, who's featured on the album.
Besides myself, we had top 5 Dead or Alive, Jadakiss.
Okay.
We got Conway the Machine.
Sauce Walker.
We got Sauce Walker. We got my brother Scolito.
Okay.
Who's new to a lot of y'all, but he's amazing.
Okay.
And
Black Thought.
We got the legendary Black Thought.
That makes perfect sense.
The record man Black Thought, I tell people, if they want to know the state of Philly 100 years from now, they could play that record, and it's going to let them know,
Okay.
And we got my bro Symbol on the project too.
Symbol, right. Now, you as an artist, what's your process of doing music? You got to hear the beat first, or you already got the rhyme? You got the rhyme, the match to the beat. How you rock out?
The majority of the time, I got to hear the beat first, but a lot of times I have an idea of what I want to do, and I like put the idea in my voice notes or something, and then when I get a beat, I make it work.
Right. Now, the album is very soulful, thanks to my man Jake or whatever. Like, who were some of your musical influences in terms of producing? Because your style is very soulful. Like,
I would say, when I started, it was the Premiers and Pete Rock.
Pete Rock, Large Professor, Marley Marl.
Yeah, all those. Dr. Dre, DJ Quick. When them guys came, obviously Jess was a big influence.
I would say Kanye too. Then
Kanye. Yeah, definitely. So it's weird though, because I was making beats at that time too, right? And I wasn't like starting at that point, so it's not the same. Like when you're young and you just like,
right.
I knew what they were doing, right? I felt like if I would have been there, I probably would have did a beat on his first album, because I was doing those kind of beats,
right?
You know what I mean? It just, back then New York had all the access, right? So if you weren't in New York, you weren't getting on those records,
right? Right. Now, speaking of New York, and even I'll just say the tri-state area, and I do include Philly, in that as well.
You better.
Exactly. Why wouldn't I? You know what I mean? So in terms of sound, like, do you think? I would say I'm gonna use East Coast in general. You think East Coast has lost its sound? Because in my personal opinion, this is my opinion, I hear a lot of artists from wherever, New York, Philly, DC, and they don't sound like
right.
What my visual of where we are. If you follow it.
Right. I mean, the internet made it so the styles travel so fast that, like, once somebody sees a record from wherever it is, they can immediately make another version of it.
Right.
And that's what the kids are always going to react to. And,
Right.
it comes out so fast, you don't even know who really came up with it first at this point, right?
Well, if you look at the visual, you can see where it comes from. You know what I mean? In terms, so for instance, I see niggas from here, South Bronx,
Right.
on the train, rapping like doing trap,
The
but that's
drill
not,
thing,
it's
yeah.
not, that's not New York. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not. But it's their
Like
influence.
it's like you went to a different universe, like a multiverse, and you got on the train and they was doing something totally different.
Exactly. It's like that. I mean, I like my artists. I mean, in my opinion, music is supposed to be a representation of your experience,
Right.
your lifestyle, your surroundings, not what's popular. So let me do that, even though I don't live that. I'm not there.
But it isn't like just the inevitable part of hip hop is that the younger generation does something that makes the old people mad. Like, I think that's what Run DMC was when I was a kid. Like, my dad didn't want to hear that shit. He wanted to listen to John Coltrane, right? So, like,
yeah, but we're comparing not hip hop to hip hop now. But
like time wise, you know, we're just so far away from the point when, like, the traditional two turntables and a mic and
I'm not even talking about
East Coast beats, you know,
an identity. I just think everything sounds like one.
I feel like people got away from, you know, being themselves, and it's a way to do it. Like, you remember, like, back in the day when, like, Jay, like, jumped on a Juvenile record.
Exactly, but he was still himself.
He was still himself. He still brought what he brought to the table with it.
Right.
Like, you know, it's just it's just a certain way to go about it. But, you know, I do agree that a lot of artists are lost in what's popular, but we just dropped the Slim Pack too, baby.
Exactly.
So
that's
you know,
these guys.
I mean, and the whole point of this was to do none of that, right? Like, just do the shit that we're good at,
right? That's
that we love.
Yeah,
you know
that
what I mean?
leads me to our next question. Did you feel pressure to stick to the script, so to speak, or conform to what think people want to hear?
Me personally, I don't even feel like it was a point.
Nah,
like I just do. Throughout my career, I just created the music that I feel good about and that I vibe with. You know,
I think some of the records we had could have went maybe even a little more modern. I was like, no, we're not doing that.
Right.
So
Jake, like, even like I had a couple joints that I put a little like nothing you could do. I had a little melody in the back of it. He took it out.
Why you take his melody out, man?
You know, I didn't want that.
He wanted it to be super hip hop.
Didn't want it to be that. I wanted it to be hip hop.
But on the next one, you got Let Me Be Me.
Auto tune on the next one.
It wasn't no auto tune. It wasn't auto tune. It was just melodies from the kid.
Auto tune was struggling.
I mean, that's good that he let you drive the vehicle, so to speak, because most artists, they want
and I'm grateful for that.
You know,
like,
so
you know,
that's rare. You know what I mean?
It's not happening again, though. Say no.
I don't know. It might be the biggest record.
He knows. I mean, I wouldn't say with every artist I'm just that forthcoming and give them everything I think. With him, you know, I gotta just be real with him because I feel like I'm doing it out of a place of love. It's not like, you know, I'm hating on my own project if it's that way. I'm really trying to get the best out of both of us to have us look the best.
I tell you one thing, I ain't never had a problem with a Jake One beat.
Right.
I never said, yo, you gotta fix that horn.
Damn. But it's funny. I'll like go back and be like, I don't like that beat no more, and he'll be like, man, what's wrong with you? Why can't we just run with this? You know?
Right. Now, Freeway. On a serious note, I want to ask you something. On a serious note, with losing a loved one such as a child, did that play a part in how you approach this album, or is it? Do you ever speak on that musically?
Yeah, most definitely. Like, you know, the type of artist that I am and the type of artist that I've been throughout my career, I speak on reality and things that I go through, and that's a part of my life, like, you know, losing my kids. So,
right.
Of course, I touch base on it on the project.
Right. And I think that's another thing that's missing from hip-hop, the human element. Everybody's fascinated with, I got this, I'm driving this, I'm doing that, but there's no real-life stories for people to attach to.
It's all about showing your most extravagant self, right? So, like, sometimes you got to be vulnerable, and I think he did a good job on this record.
Right.
With
I think that's the best music when you're vulnerable, because people can relate to that. Everybody's not balling, everybody's not living a fantasy life,
right?
That you're rapping about, that you're not even living most of the time. You know what I mean? So I just think real life music and concepts, it resonate with people more if people just be themselves.
It definitely has a longer shelf life for sure.
Right. All right. So anything, like, I see you have a nonprofit situation going on. You want to speak about that?
Most definitely. So we have Freedom Thinkers Academy, which is music, health, education, and culture.
Okay.
On the education side, we have some STEM workforce development programs. We partner with OIC in Philadelphia, and we partner with the Community Education Building in Delaware. and we have phlebotomy, medical billing and code, and audiovisual engineering and medical tech. And to date, we graduated 131 students.
Wow.
You know, so we're just pushing the envelope, you know, trying to help our community the best way that we can. I also got my own day in Philly. So
As
June
you should.
1st is Philadelphia Freeway Day.
Okay.
It was established in 2019, but it was made official in 2024.
Right.
And in the honor of getting my own day, we're giving back to the city. I'm having the first annual Free Fest. It's August 3rd in Philadelphia at the Philadelphia Naval Yard from 12 to 4.
Okay.
It's going to be an amazing event with health resources. We're going to have health screenings. We're going to have mental health resources for people. We're going to have vendors with food. We're going to have live entertainment. I'm performing. You know, I'm going to bring some special guests out there. We're going to shut it down.
Right. I want to be an advocate for you. You should have your own street, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if that's in the works, but we've in our culture, we wait till people die
Yeah.
to do this type of stuff. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, people need to see it while they're here, you know? And
Yeah, it's a blessing, man. I named my first album Philadelphia Freeway, so to have my own day in the city of Philadelphia that I named my first album after, that I grew up in, is
Right.
nothing less than a blessing.
Right.
And it's as far as Free Fest, it's a completely free event, but you do have to register to get a ticket, so you can go to phillyfreefest.org to get your free ticket for Free Fest. That's phillyfreefest.org. Log on.
Now, Philly, man, I hold Philly to a different standard, just like I hold New York to a different standard. I even hold Detroit to a different standard, and Houston. And what I mean by that, those are I call them barbarians. Those are the home of the barbarians. Philly, New York, Houston, Texas, and Detroit. A lot of legendary barsmen come out of there. What's the climate like in Philly in terms of barbarians, like what I like to call them?
They still around. It's
right.
a bunch of them. You know, it's a few people that's caught up in, you know, what's popular,
Right.
and then it's a lot of young boys that's establishing their own thing. Like they got the little shout out to DJ Crazy. He sparked the whole Shake That movement. So
Okay.
we got young boys like T Rare and like D Sturdy that's doing their thing. You know, we got young boys that's really barbarians like my brother Core, who signed to Meek Mill.
Okay.
You know, he just dropped an amazing project and he got some more dope stuff in the works. So
Right.
we got a lot of talent. You know, my team, Freedom Thinkers Academy, we got a lot of talented artists on my roster. So
Right.
we getting it together.
I'm sure you've been asked this question before, but I don't know the answer to it. Who are your top 5 in Philly, out of Philly, as far as MCs
Out of Philly,
out of Philly?
Beanie Siegel, Black Thought, Petey Crack, Young Chris.
Oh, you're keeping the home team. Okay.
Let me see, who else? Out of Philly, I'm gonna give it to Meek.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, speaking of those guys you named a lot of state property. Obviously. What's the relationship with the whole state property and the Beans? You know, PD, everyone.
Yeah, we all good, man. They my brothers.
Okay.
You know, everything is straight. It's all love. I just was talking to Beans earlier.
Okay.
I talked to Crack this morning. I talked to Chris last night.
Right.
You know, everybody. It's all love.
Are
Everybody.
you gonna get another tour out of you guys, or another album? We're gonna get some collaborations.
I mean, God willing, we get another tour. Of course, collaborations. Petey Crack is on Stem Pack 2. He on the second track on Stem Pack 2 called Philly.
Okay.
You know, I would have had more people on there, but it just didn't work out that way. But we still all good. It's still all love.
Right. Now shout out to Dame Dash. I see that a while back you guys were doing something with the band.
Yeah, we got a rock and roll album
Yeah,
coming this year. I just talked to Dame earlier too. Shout out my brother Dame.
Yeah, he's official BBS boy too, by the way.
Yeah, for sure. We got a rock and roll project that we did. We made like 10, 12 songs. We did it in like 5 days. And, you know, we just went in, like, he had all the instruments mic'd up.
Right.
We just went in, they started playing the beat, I start rapping, and at the end of it, we got a whole crazy project, and we filmed the whole process. So
dope.
not only is it a project, it's a curriculum. We're showing people how to create a project in 5 days.
Right. Now, would you say that this album could be currently the best hip hop album in terms of classic sound in hip hop that's out right now?
My album,
Yeah,
Step Back 2? Yeah, definitely. Why wouldn't I say that? I mean, I haven't been on the internet,
Right.
because I've been busy for the most part, but this morning I was looking at a lot of the comments and people saying this might be the best album they heard all year. A lot of people saying it might be my best album, classic,
Right.
you know, breath of fresh air, all those types
It's
of
cool
things.
to see, like, you know, Common and P come out with what they did. And it's like,
yeah, they gotta go.
giving this kind of music a space again. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I think it's always been there. It's just not celebrated in the spotlight.
Right.
Just don't be on it. It's always there.
Right.
But it's just not. The
But it's
mainstream
up
spotlight's
to
not
our
on it.
generation to like really support these things too.
Right.
It can't just be like, oh, the kids are fucking it up, and then
Right.
somebody drops something that's supposed to be for us, and they don't support
I
it.
think that's another problem. You have 40-year-olds, and this is my opinion again.
Yeah.
You have what I call immature artists. That's what I call them. You have 40-year-olds or however old trying to make music
for the kids.
for kids.
They don't want
That's
it.
the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
I just do you.
Yeah, I
do what
mean,
you do.
Right.
at the end of the day, hip hop is about being creative. So if that's what they feel, hey, more power to them. But what we gonna do is keep it solid, and we're gonna continue to make the music that we feel good about.
Right.
you
Now,
know?
do you think hip hop should be categorized like adult? You know how they have adult.
Listen, I
Right,
just
right.
seen an interview with MC Light. Shout out the Queen MC Light.
Right.
And she was talking about that because she just dropped a new record with Queen Latifah. You see, LL just dropped a project like we were just
With
talking
Ross,
about.
yeah.
Common, you know,
right.
and they categorize it as old school. You know, when older artists drop
Right.
projects, but it's not old
It's
school.
not.
It's new music from legendary,
legendary
artists. So we
artists.
gotta come up with a name, or you know, maybe
Yeah,
we
old
need to
school, I
start.
guess, is usually kind of a disrespectful way to say
Yeah,
it.
we need to
right? Like,
find a name for it, or start a
Yeah.
new genre or
Do
something.
we have to do that at all? Just if you like it, you like it. You don't, you do.
yeah, it's still hip
You know what I
hop.
mean?
Yeah,
It's still
you know.
hip hop.
I mean, that's how we've been carrying it. But
Right.
you know, I got your back, Light, and you know what I'm saying. That's how she said we need to carry it. So that's how we gonna carry it.
Right. Okay. I'm not mad at that. Now you've worked with I don't know who haven't you worked with, but I need you to answer that. But you've worked with pretty much everybody. Like all my favorites, you've worked with.
Nas,
You worked. You did.
I haven't worked with Nas yet. I just seen him at the Who's
We
Picnic
wanted
too.
Nas
Okay.
on this
We had a
Okay.
record we
particular
tried to
record.
get it off, but we couldn't get it off in time. But I feel like we're gonna be able to get some stuff done.
All right. I was gonna say who's the one artist who you haven't worked with? It would be Nas. That's what you
Yeah, Nas for sure. Yeah.
Nas. And you've produced for quite a bit of people. What's your dream collaboration?
Charlie Wilson.
Damn, man,
I got every rapper at this
First
point.
name
that one.
Charlie.
Yeah.
Why Charlie Wilson?
I just love his.
I
voice.
need an 8 on that joint at least.
You know that could happen.
It could happen.
That could happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, you got to put it in the atmosphere.
Yeah, you never know.
My son that passed away, his grandma, Gam, she loved Charlie Wilson. He about to come to Philly next month in August. She like, yo, you got to get me. I got to see him. So I got to make that happen for her.
Right.
But she loved Charlie Wilson.
Now, as an artist, as long as you've been in this industry, what is a misconception about yourself that people may have about you?
I don't know because I don't listen to none of that
You don't listen
bullshit.
to, you listen to that. Oh, that's a misconception right there. He don't listen. You know what I mean? So, what about you?
I think because the way I started, like more on the underground stuff, I think people don't even understand that I did a lot of hits.
Right.
So,
I'm glad you said that.
And-
Just run down the discography real quick.
I mean,
Of some of
I'd
the
say
records
like
that
some of
they
the big
should-
ones,
the big
like
ones.
I Got the Keys.
Oh shit.
That
Oh.
was one. Future. Percocet and Strippers, Kaylani, Can I, Kodak Black, Call My Spirits, J. Cole, My Life.
Right.
Brent Faiyaz's Been Away. Three Kings, Rick Ross, Jay-Z.
Oh, you did that
Yeah.
record.
Should have been 4 Kings, but I ain't gonna say nothing.
Yo. Hold on. You know
Nipsey
Dr.
Loaded
Dr.
Bassist.
Dre's on that.
Yeah.
Hold on, we can't skip over that. Hold
Yeah.
on. Wait a minute. That's like one of my favorite
Yeah.
records, man, with Three Kings.
Yeah, I was here when that came out.
That's
That was
crazy.
wild to just hear every car playing
Yo.
your
I
song.
remember that. That was
Yeah,
big.
that was incredible.
Pause.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You did that?
Yeah.
See, I learned something. I didn't know that. That's like one of my favorite records ever.
Oh, thank you,
And
man.
I never
Thank
knew.
you.
You know what, though? I thought Dre did that.
Right. Well, it was for Detox.
Right. Wow.
So as all songs for Detox, you know, thank
hold
God that
on.
one came out.
So how did you even link up to even get that access to
I
doing
was in a deal with Dre from like probably around the time we did Stim Pack. I was
Okay.
like working on songs for him, and that was one that he did. And I think Ross somehow got him to
Right.
use it, and Khaled's the one that put Hove on it.
that? Right.
So
Right. You know what's crazy? A lot of records that Dre put out, people like me automatically assume he did.
Right.
He did the beat. So sometimes the producer gets overshadowed
Right.
and not liked
right.
or whatever. So I had no idea.
I mean, my name was only one credited, so like it's not like I don't like how people be like, oh, they steal the credit. It wasn't really like that at all. It's just somebody who's that big of a legend, you just gonna take it that way.
You take it that way, right?
Right.
No, I'm not mad at that. I'm definitely not mad at that. So, how long are you gonna keep the stimulus series going? We gonna do it 3, 4?
We just was talking about that earlier, man. We don't know, man. We probably got enough records to stem pack 6 right now.
Damn.
We loaded, bases loaded.
Right.
Loaded Bases, another Nipsey song I did.
Nipsey song, right? Okay. Now, are there any?
R.I.P. to Nip too. That's my brother, man.
Right.
When I was going through kidney failure and I was in the hospital and all that, Nip reached out to me, make sure I was good. It's a good brother, man.
Oh, well, I'm glad to see you in good spirits and good health, man.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you.
Definitely, because that's a serious issue too. You know, and do you? I'm sure you do, but do you vocally bring awareness about health issues such as that?
Most definitely.
Okay.
You know, that's the whole Freedom Thinkers Academy is music, health, education, and culture. I told y'all what we do on the education side. On the health side, you know, I got some great partnerships. I got a partnership with Gift of Life. I got a partnership with Donate Life. And there are organ procurement places, you know, that help people facilitate organs. So, you know, I've received a life-sustaining kidney transplant that saved my life. And then when my son passed away in 2020, he saved 4 lives with his organs. So I'm a kidney transplant recipient and I'm a donor dad. So I've been on both sides, you know.
So look, God bless you for that.
God bless you too, bro.
Definitely. So, moving forward, man, are we gonna how do I say this? How are you gonna do any more acting?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Well, I just was in a couple things.
Okay.
I was just in Hustle with Adam Chandler.
Okay.
I was just in Bel Air.
Right, the Bel Air.
With the Fresh Prince Bel Air thing.
Have
I was
you ever been in something and you weren't Freeway?
I wasn't Freeway and neither one. I was Freeway and what's the name? But in Bel Air, I wasn't Freeway. I was the coach.
Oh, he's a coach.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was Freeway.
So would you prefer acting or doing music if you had a choice? If you
I like
only do one.
I like them both. If I can only do one, of course, music, because it comes naturally to me. It's my passion. Right. But I like doing them both. They can't tell me I can only do one. I'm not going for that.
Right. Now being born and raised in Philly, do you remember the first time you heard hip hop? Like what sparked your interest in hip hop? If you remember that.
Music, period. Like I remember when I was little. And on the weekends, my mom used to sip a little sip, and she had the record player playing, and she was listening to like James Brown and all that type of stuff. Then as I got a little older, her and my aunts used to be in the living room rocking at the same time to different beats and stuff like that. You know, when early hip hop, when hip hop first started, and you know, I took a liking to it.
So do you actually remember the first time you sat down to try to write a rhyme?
Yeah.
When was that?
I probably was like 6 or something.
You remember that rhyme?
From east to west, I can't confess my style is deaf. I can't confess the best. Yes, all the rhymes I got won't matter, cause I'm less. Yes, and I'm better. Microphone, you can choke on my dick when you suck it. I bust a rhyme, boy, and I bust it. That was the shock value, cause I was so young, like, and I was like, yeah. Hold on.
Oh shit! So you was.
I was like, you still talking jazz, man? You still talking shit, Rick? To put it in 4 words, get off my dick.
Wait a minute, how old were you when saying that?
I was probably like 9.
9?
Yeah.
Wow. So it wasn't Two Live Crew. It was you.
Man, it was the state of Philly. Like, you know, on a serious note, like when I was coming up, when I was, you know, pursuing being an artist, I was around a lot of other artists in Philadelphia that was dope, that had originality. That's when everybody brought something different to the game, right. You know, and I feel like me being around all those dope artists, everyone might not have achieved the success that I achieved, but I feel like they're all a part of me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Being around all those different hot artists influenced the artist that I am today.
Right. Dope. I mean, I'm not mad at that. And
I might owe y'all some reparations, man.
Hey, don't say that. You know,
don't get him started.
In this day and age, you were gonna cease and desist. Like, yo, he said. You know what I mean? So
that ain't happening.
Or what about you? How did you get? What do you remember the first beat you made?
First beat I made. Yeah, I don't remember the first one, but like maybe like 92 when I was maybe like 15 or something like that.
Right.
Wow. What it sound like?
I mean, I probably just looped the Roy Ayers or something, you know. And
right. Do you still make beats from its perspective? All right, this is for this artist. If I meet him, this is for that artist. If I meet him, this is for that artist.
No, I never did it that way.
You don't do it that way?
All the beats I made, I feel like I gave them to everybody.
Right.
And whoever picked them, you know.
Right. Now.
And I don't like that because I'll be done.
He gets mad because it'll end up being somebody else's song.
I'll be done made a classic to that joint. Like, oh,
this
man.
record that was like, it was probably 5 years old by the time, or 3-4 years. And he was like, yo, I'm about to put this out. I'm like, dog, that already came out. Wale and Scarface already did that. And this was, you know, years before.
Right.
And the funny thing now, it don't even matter. It was just like, shit, put your version up.
I don't. You know, Premier's the only person I know that works like this, and I could be wrong, but just from my knowledge, he don't do beats until the artist comes in the studio.
It's amazing.
I don't on the spot.
I don't understand.
No beats.
Yeah.
None of that. You have to come to the studio and he makes it on.
Which means he didn't miss for like 10 years.
It's crazy when you think about his body of work. How it was done.
10 years straight. He hit every time.
He doesn't send beats.
Yeah.
So think about his catalog and that process.
Wow.
Because most producers, we're making a lot of music.
Yeah, he doesn't do that
to catch the one. You know what I mean? So
think about all your classic Premier joints. He waited. The artist has to come to the studio.
And then he writes the title on the disc, and then that's it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
He can easily say, "I know this artist. Let me cook up before you get here." He doesn't do that. He cooks it up right there on the spot. Which can you do that? You think that's hard? I think that's hard.
I can at this point. When I was younger, I couldn't. Like they would when I first started getting popping, they would be like, "All right, you're gonna go to LA. We're working on the Games album." And I would like what I would do is make a beat I'd already made in front of them. They're just like, "Yo, this is magic how you just did that."
You smart.
Because I would be too nervous, you know what I mean? And just like, I might not have, I like figuring it out. It takes time. It's not like that simple all the time.
Premier might do that too. Just saying that he's.
I'm asking him. He might get mad about that.
Yeah, he might get mad. He's sensitive with that, but it's all good. We want to know that type of stuff. So moving forward, man, you've had a long, very successful career. People are always trying to put a timeline on when you should and shouldn't be doing music. How long do you want to continue doing music? Because you look like you have a love for it. I say you do it until you don't want to.
Yeah, as long as I feel it, like you know what I'm saying. As long as I feel like I got something to say, and I feel like what I say is going to resonate with some people, then
Right, and I say that because Andre 3000 says that he's 48 years old now, and he says that he don't think people wants to hear what a 48-year-old has to say. And I'm like, well, it depends on who you're saying it to. Right. If you're trying to say it to a 15-year-old, you're probably right. But we
love Andre 3000, man. He's one of the best to ever touch a microphone, man.
How do you feel about that? Like,
I feel like we want to hear some more music from him. I feel like he shouldn't. Whoever around him telling him that, I don't know what's going on.
Well, that's how he feels. He said he don't think people want to hear what a 48-year-old has to say. And I'm like,
I want to hear it. I know a bunch of other people want to hear it.
Look at the verses he does on other people's stuff. It's not like you're like, it still sounds great. It sounds like him.
Right.
Most definitely.
So I just think it has to be, in you. He just says it's not in him no more. He don't want it. He don't want to do it.
Right.
And that's sad because he's one of the greatest, to ever do it, in my opinion. And I wish somebody was around him that would encourage him, like, yo, come on, man, knock that shit off.
You never know. One day you might, if he listens to that, listen, Andre.
I know it's coming.
No, tell him, come on.
Bro, listen to the Stimulus Package 2. It's going to inspire you, bro.
There it is.
And, get with me. We do some things together, man.
What song should he listen to that he should be inspired by?
He need to listen to the one with me and Black Thought. He need to listen to the record with me and Kiss. He need to listen to the whole album. The whole album. It's fire, and it's from the heart, and it's inspiring. I feel like you're gonna rock.
There it is. Freeway is gonna bring him out of retirement. You know what I mean? You heard it here first on AllHipHop.com.
Most definitely.
Exactly. So before we get out of here, man, anything else y'all want to speak on? Chop it up about before we go.
We just need everybody to go download, stream that new Stim Pack 2. It's 14 tracks. Me and my brother Jake put our heart and soul into it, and we know y'all gonna love it. So let's get it. It's available everywhere you can get music.
Right. Real quick, what's the first single off the album?
The first single off the album was Freezer, which got a great response.
Is there a video?
There's a video for that.
Okay. Where can they see that?
Everywhere. We released that exclusively with World Star Hip Hop. Okay. But it's also everywhere else.
Okay, so go check out Freezer.
And the second single, Ringing featuring Jada Kiss, song and video is available everywhere. So check it out.
So that's what it is, man. I go by the name of DJ Thoro. Let them know the names.
Philadelphia Freeway.
Jake Uno.
And like always, when you see us, one knee us. That means get on one knee and kiss the ring. We out. See, I got bars too, so we got a record coming out now. You know what I mean? Let's go.